So the first 5 years were akin to Clint Eastwood, if you might, which tended to be filled with trying to get these elderly, very prominent people out of the way. It was not done with bullets. It was done with persuasion and I'm sorry to say, with money. So the first 5 years were spent in creating an environment where change was possible. And then I've been blessed with an organization that has been displaying considerable spirit in wanting to make a change. And many things that we did had not been done before, but I was always pleased to see that the response from the organization was tremendous. Without that, it could not have been done. Conventional wisdom said that you couldn't enter the car business without having a collaboration, and certainly to think of designing a car domestically and producing it was an unheard of thing. My friends, as we launched the car, started to distance themselves from me.
Right.
And it wasn't for me, it was to distance themselves from failure.
Right.
And it was the trust one had in the young team to put this together that drove it. The other is that from time to time, I think change has caused a lot of people in the company to question the wisdom that such a change would be based on.
Right.
And I've been lucky, and in some cases it's been difficult, but by and large, India's a country that has such a great potential that change is, by and large, well received.
Right. You've spoken in the past about how you value personal integrity, both in your own leadership, but then also in the leaders you admire. Have you ever faced an opportunity which you had to turn down for ethical reasons or for the ethical consequences of that decision?
Several instances where that would be so. I think perhaps the most visible one was when we wanted to form an airline. Oddly enough, we were asked to form an airline by the then Prime Minister. But vested interests made sure that we didn't form an airline through 3 successive Prime Ministers. And that was the most visible of the thing, which we walked away from because we could have probably had it by succumbing to subjective issues of bribery or corruption, and we walked away from it.
Right.
Well, airline would have been something we really wanted to do. We pioneered aviation in the turn of the century.
Right.
And it was emotionally something that we would have liked very much to be in again.
Right.
Far more is gained by walking on the shop floor and talking to the people and trying to communicate. One of my weaknesses has been, I think, I've never communicated enough or adequately with our people, partly because I'm a shy person, and secondly, because I didn't realize the importance of communication. But I think communication with the employees is an exceedingly important function that any company chairman has to do and be visible in that sense. I think the only advice I can think of giving you is as you leave this institute and as you start your career, you must be sensitive to the millions of people who have not had the opportunity that you have as we stand today. And in many ways, you should be sensitive to the fact that the education system and the knowledge that you have acquired from this, they have not had the advantage to have. And you should look at that with humility rather than arrogance, and understand that you, in turn, need to do something that will enhance the quality of their life.